What's up, YouTube? This is Buckshot33, aka Boston Chris, and I am back with a brand new video. So, this weekend was pretty cool as far as everything was concerned. Very busy weekend for me. I had a lot of, family stuff going on. My nephew was my nephew was baptized today, so that was pretty cool. So I was, really happy to be a part of that. And also, yesterday I ended up going to a small Comic-Con up in my area, and it was called, and I have the actual brochure from it, the Northeast Comic-Con. And it took place in a city about, let's say, 25 minutes north of Boston called Wilmington. If you are not familiar with the area, it's a little bit outside of Boston, not too far, but it's a really good convention just for the mere fact that, like on the brochure, you see like they had a lot of celebrity guests, former musicians, actors, stuff like that, and then a few artists here and there. Every once in a while they have a big name come through. 2 years ago they had George Perez, which I thought was awesome. I got him to sign a bunch of books, my Crisis on Infinite Earths books. But the true best part of a convention like this, a really small one, is that you basically can go in there and just shop without the huge hordes of people that will kind of hold you back and really just kind of, I guess, get in your way and make it kind of a tough day to go around and check everything out like some of the bigger cons do. And, you get to do a lot of shopping. So this is a stack of books that I got from that show. And the best part, or at least for me, just because it's near Christmas, it's, a time of year where really, money is kind of a tough thing, just because you get your Christmas gifts and, other responsibilities that you got to do. And what happens is just that, I use this convention usually for just like, just some bargain shopping. But as you first go in, they have a bunch of, just free stuff hanging out on the table. So I was able to go ahead and pick up the Black Eyed Kids #1. It's the Halloween Comic Fest, and none of my local shops had this book, so I'm glad to be able to pick it up. I actually own the original, the #1 issue, but I figured free, why not? And then they also had a couple other things that I didn't actually pick up, and I'm actually pretty excited that they put this together like this. So they have I don't know if you guys have heard of Double Take Comics, but different books. So they have like a dedication, and the cool thing with this is it's basically like a volume issue 1, 2, and 3 all in one book. So almost like a mini trade, and just I'm able to basically see all 3 issues all in there. So it's just pretty thick book, and just something that I've never actually read. So I'm happy to have that just because it gives me something new to look into, something else. This one actually looked pretty cool when I looked at it, just because the cover's pretty sick. And this is the Z-Men. And, again, issues 1, 2, and 3. This looks like it has like a little bit more of a action-based story. And when it says all the President's Men, I wonder if it's kind of like, new version of the Secret Service. Definitely looks interesting. Next, you have one called Remote or Dead Air. I don't know, Remote, Dead Air, whatever it is. But, 50-foot woman, and she's, wearing American flags as her clothes. So yeah, again, another, really interesting book. So definitely going to check these out. And like I said, I picked them up for free. So 3 issues in one, which is cool. And then, moving on, we have some of the dollar books that I picked up. And, it's just a really fun time checking out some books. But, so we got What If Conan Battle Wolverine. Pretty cool. I love the What If series. I think that a lot of stories, they had some really cool ideas. I mean, this one might not have worked out so hot as far as, straight out like a big story, within either Wolverine, or Conan, or X-Men, anything like that. But What If comics definitely have a place within the Marvel Universe as far as telling you what could have happened had this gone one way, had something else gone another way. And then on top of that, too, I think that there are some that kind of fit into the universe that wouldn't be so far-fetched if they actually use those stories. I think they could tell a few better stories rather than doing some of these reboots or kind of some of the weaker stories that we've seen over the years. you know, why not explore some of those? Like, one that comes to mind that they actually did explore was, what if Jane Foster became Thor? Which is, you know, the last Mighty Thor that we had, the female Thor, came. I don't know if that was a straight out inspiration, if they said, you know what, let's go back and use that what if story, but that is actually the first appearance, or the technical first appearance of Jane Foster as Thor is What If number 10, I think is volume 1. So, you know, I think it's an underrated series. I think there's a lot of really good stuff that came out of it, but, you know, that's okay. That's my opinion. Next up, book that's near and dear to me, G.I. Joe number 1. And, I'm sorry, yeah, number 1, my foot. G.I. Joe number 91. And I don't think I have this one, honestly and truly, just because I don't remember this cover. I like this cover because it's, you know, a bunch of ninjas on the front of it. So you have Snake Eyes, Scarlet, and Jinx. Jinx is this ninja right here. It's kind of hard to tell just because, you know, she's in red and all the ninjas that are coming after her are red. Look a little bit like the Hand. Not exactly, but kind of close. But, you know, definitely happy to pick that up for $1. Next up, we have Incredible Hulk number 377. Now, this isn't the, you know, third printing variant that's actually kind of rare and you know, the one that everyone goes searching for. But you know what? For $1, you know, I couldn't go wrong with that. I think that this might have actually gotten, not burned, but it definitely has, if you look up in the corner here, really dark mark. So I think that either it might have been too close to a heater or something like that, but, you know, like I said, paid $1 for it, so I'm not upset. Just kind of another, you know, book to fill into my collection. Next up, this actually I was surprised to see in the dollar bin that I had gone to. This is Planet Hulk number 100. And so I have number 100 already, but, you know, for $1, I'm not going to pass it up. Perfectly fine with me. Next up, you have another What If comic. So what if Daredevil killed the Kingpin? You know, I like this just because, like I said before, you know, this is kind of a, you know, just one-off scenario where you see Daredevil holding a gun. He actually shot him, I guess, in this one. And the only other time I remember him holding a gun on the cover was the Punisher cover. It's all in yellow, and he's just kind of like, you know, no more Mr. Nice Guys on the cover. Actually, kind of funny, too, and coincidental. I didn't even notice this when I bought it. But if you look very close to where the gun is, you see kind of a hole. So it's almost like a bullet hole. That's not part of the cover. That's actually just the bag itself has a hole in it. So I'm going to have to change out this bag, but that's a pretty cool effect, I think. Just kind of coincidental effect. Next, you got Transformers number 50. And, you know, as everyone knows, I'm a big fan of, like, the Hasbro series. You know, love Transformers, love G.I. Joe. And, you know, so I was thinking of getting a run of those going at some point just because I do love those, and I've done pretty well in my G.I. Joe collecting. So I'm starting to kind of get the Transformers going. So happy to see that that was in there for $1. Next, we have Teen Titans number 22. And I think this is kind of like a retelling of all their stories. Like you see Raven, you also see Starfire, and then you know Cyborg and Beast Boy. And I think this one, I'm pretty sure, is one that I'll be showing actually a little bit later. But I think it's just kind of a collection of all of them. You know, the tales of like the New Teen Titans is kind of a confusing book as far as how they did it, because in the early 80s there was a you know, New Teen Titans, and then they kind of so they went from Teen Titans to the New Teen Titans to Tales of the Teen Titans, or Tales of the New Teen Titans, and it is kind of confusing with the numbering and everything like that. You got to kind of be conscious of the you kind of have to be conscious of this upper box right here to see how this goes, and just make sure that the date matches up. So I just figured $1, why not, and you know, just keep it moving with that. But you know, like I said, those Teen Titan books you kind of be conscious of the years, because sometimes, I mean, I definitely think that is a retelling book that retells a bunch of information that happened before, and you know, you'd want to get those actual legitimate first issues of that. But next we have She-Hulk number 3. Another one I was happy to find for $1, and it's a newsstand edition, so that's kind of cool. You know, She-Hulk is a pretty cool character. She's definitely I think one of the characters that over time has stood out and has had a lot of you know, kind of ups and downs as far as everything with popularity. But she's definitely She-Hulk #1 is a book that if you don't have, you should definitely look into getting. Marvel Cinematic Universe, a lot of people are speculating that she's going to end up in there at some point. But just something where it's just cheap series right now. Like there's not a lot of people knocking each other over to get the book other than #1. So just for collection, just for fun, I figure pick it up. So definitely some rippling on this bag. I'm going to take it out and everything like that. But overall, it looks like a really good copy. So next we have another. Well, you have a Incredible Hulk. This one's a lot earlier. This is number 267. I remember this cover. I've seen this before. With the rainbow cover, and it's just kind of him with him fighting a bunch of monsters. So that you see. Let's see. I don't know who this little purple guy is, but I know that is the leader. I think that is Abomination. I don't know who she is. Then you have Rhino and this guy with 2 faces. So I figure worth a read, and just kind of expanding out a couple books into my collection. So happy with that. Next up we have Incredible Hulk, and this is number 266. So it's kind of weird. Like I look at this and it's just okay. So I guess they must have changed over because they had this ad here, because this is 267, so this is 266 right here, and the numbers are a lot bigger. You can see it easier and everything like that. But I like this one just because the cover. You see the High Evolutionary, and he's just like threatening to change the Hulk into a monkey, and just figured seems kind of cool to me. Why not? Again, dollar book, so I'm not going to complain. Next we have Incredible Hulk number 290, and the whole reason why I got this one just because I saw it and I was like, I saw a female MODOK. I don't know if that's MODOK's wife, sister, girlfriend, mother, whoever it is. I want to know who that character is, so that's why I bought this. I was just like, you know what? There's more than one MODOK creature out there. I gotta get it. So, and again, dollar, can't complain. Next we have, and I don't know if I have this, but always in for a Mike Mignola cover. So this is Wolverine number 28, and as you can see right there, Mike Mignola did that cover. And, really cool looking cover. I have a pretty good amount of the first series of Wolverine, so I'm always looking to add more. And again, dollar bin book, even though the price tag says $5, it was in the dollar bin, so I got it for $1. And then got a couple more that I picked up for $1. Let me see. Let me get those books for you, because there's 2 of them that I picked up from one store in particular that I actually wanted to shout out. Oh, here we go. So, I was able to actually meet up with a channel that I am, at this point, I don't think they have too many videos going on, but it's the actual comic book store that was introduced to me through the JLS Jesse from JLS Comics, his live show. He had gone there and he just sang tons and tons of praise about it, said how cool of a place it was. Really was just happy to go out there and everything. So I want to help promote this store. I was walking around the con, and it was the first time I'd ever been actually noticed, in public as far as YouTube is concerned. Now, I'm not any kind of celebrity, nothing like that, but it was pretty cool. Like, I turned the corner, and, this guy came up and was like, "Hey, you're the guy from YouTube." And I'm like, "Yeah, I have a channel on YouTube." I was like, I was just like, not sure. I mean, it's a small one, so I mean, are you also in the community? Like, do I know you as a different channel name? And he's like, I run a store. It's called White Mountain Comics. And I was like, "Oh, dude," I was like, "Yeah, like that." I was like, Jesse from JLS was talking all about your shop and how cool it was and everything like that. And I had actually gone there specifically to try to find this shop because I wanted to see, what they had and just kind of talk with the owner and just, have a good conversation. And so I was able to pick up a couple books from, Dollar Books real quick. And I got this one just because I really, really love the cover. This is just really, really nice art, and I think I'm going to try to see it at some point if I can collect a bunch more of these. But it's Anita Blake, Vampire Hunter, Guilty Pleasure #1. And the art in this book is really, really nice. Definitely a book that I think kind of went under the radar when I was initially when it initially first came out, but I think this is really pretty art, so I'm definitely gonna try to keep up with that and keep buying it, and or just go back and try to get some, because I don't know if it's a really particularly sought after title, but I'm gonna see what I can get. And the next one is actually a pretty funny title, and I see these few and far between, and I had to get it just because I like this character. He's a funny guy, and I love how they parody everything. And this is Boris the Bear. And this one he's lampooning on Blackhawk, and just a really, really cool character. His first issue of his book, he kills the Ninja Turtles. They're called like the Radioactive Teenage Reptiles or something like that. Some type of long drawn out name, but this is a pretty funny series. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out. He's a pretty cool character. But I also wanted to go ahead and just, because I did get information for White Mountain Comics. So, if you have the chance, they are up in New Hampshire, in the White Mountains. So, it's from where I live, it's a pretty hefty drive. But, really, really cool, place. The owner is a super, super nice guy. Talk with him for probably a good half hour just about comics, collecting, and just all types of great stuff. So definitely check them out. They have their website right there, nhcomics.com, and also flip on the back side here, and sorry, here we go. So there's the website again. Got all your comic nerd needs. Let's see, DC, all the different publishers, cards, games, pops, daubs, wacky wobblers, and much more. And then also, phone number and address right there. So, if you have any sort of, if you're at all curious, want to get some information from them, give them a call, check out their website, see what they have going on. Like I said, the owner's a super cool guy. The store, is up there. Like, I haven't been yet, but the next time I go to the White Mountains on that vacation, because I did go, actually, ironically, about 3 years ago I had gone. I didn't even know it was there. Had I known it was there, that would have been one of my first stops. So, definitely check that out. I do have some more books to show, so I'm going to go ahead and get those out of the way, because I know this video is running a little bit long. So, let me go ahead and get to these. So, this one actually is kind of funny. I saw this actually on the Comic Book Fanatics Facebook group. Ray Jr. from Comic Book Fanatics, he actually had gotten a copy of this that was signed by Walt Simonson and graded at a 9.8. And, I was just like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab this as well, just because, because of what he said about it, like the captions, Lois Lane and Clark Kent are actually in this book, and they literally are in this book. There's a guy, very clumsy, bumbling guy, and they call him Clark in the book, so pretty cool. And I was just like, you know what? Once I heard that, I was like, I'm gonna pick it up. So Ray, thank you for just kind of posting about that, letting me know. Thor is a really cool title, and just those I love those little kind of small crossovers that they do, where they kind of one side will bleed over into the other, and this and that, and it's just it's not straight out said who it is, but they kind of take close to the likeness and at least give the guy, or give that male or female character just a look or something that kind of identifies them. But next up we have Marvel Premiere number 61. This is a Star-Lord solo story. And, again, for $1, I have no problem with that. I was happy to get that. I have to put this in a new bag just because there's no board in the back of this. So, but yeah, pretty cool. Get to see, very early on, Peter Quill. Next we have the Transformers book. This is Transformers number 3, and this is when I started out as just a 4-issue series. So I'm I'm going to be doing my top books for 2017. At some point, I'm still trying to narrow it down to 10 books, at least for my initial poll here. And so Transformers #1 is going to be the first one, not the first one, but that's going to be one of the ones on my list. I would love to get that, but I'm happy to have #3. So this is, just nice, good start to early Transformers for me. Next up, we have a cover that I love. This is Uncanny X-Men number 257, and this is Psylocke as Lady Mandarin. Really, really cool title. This is her second appearance in the comic, as Psylocke and as Lady Mandarin as well. Definitely a cool pickup. Really, really cool cover, and just great addition to my collection. Next up, we have. So, as I was saying earlier with the Teen Titans book I had picked up, where I thought that this is kind of a throwback to, that book had been kind of a retelling of the original story. I ended up picking up, I guess I would call it a Minarchy. This is the new Teen Titans. Now, as I said before, it gets a little bit confusing with the name, but this is the new Teen Titans number 23, and this is the first appearance of Starfire's sister Blackfire. And in that number 22, that I guess is this story told out. So this is pretty cool. I was actually happy to see that. Funny, because I read through this already. And Starfire, if you've ever seen the Teen Titans cartoon show, where Starfire, she pronounces everything really proper and everything like that is completely different from how she is in the comics. She's actually, pretty, just speaks like normal. She tells her sister to go to hell, all types of stuff. So it's pretty cool to see that, to actually see her in a normal element and everything. And then I picked up number 24. So, this kind of continues on with that storyline where, she's meeting her sister, and her sister's, kind of just this really, really, evil presence, and just they don't like each other at all. So really, really cool just story in there. And again, more George Perez books, because I love Perez's art. So very happy to have both of these if I get to meet him again. See if I can have him sign them. And then my last book that I got from the Comic-Con, this one was, I think this is the first solo appearance of Red Sonja. I know that it's not her first appearance. Her first appearance is Conan number 23 and 24. And this, I think, though, is her first solo appearance in a book. I think this predates Red Sonja #1. I could be wrong, but either way, just a really cool book to have, so I picked this up. Happy to have it in my collection. And then, actually, while I was, out at the con and everything, I got a mail call. I went ahead and unboxed it because I knew I was going to be busy today. And I went ahead and just took it out. But I was able to pick up Iron Man number 100. My Iron Man collection has grown pretty significantly because of that big sale that happened over the summertime. So I was able to kind of pick up a bunch of books for Daredevil and also for Iron Man. So I have a pretty good Iron Man collection going. I'm not quite sure how far back my run's going to go. For me, one of my Grail books, because I'm a huge Thanos fan, is Iron Man 55. So I don't know if I maybe try to see if I can go from 55 on and try to collect all of Volume 1 from 55 down. I don't know how pricey, number 1 would end up being for me and everything like that. But definitely a cool book to have in my collection. Definitely fun for me to be able to have that and add that. So, as I said, really, really cool books, and just overall, just a fun time at that convention. I would encourage anybody who has smaller conventions in their area to go ahead and, just check those out, even though, they're not as big and glamorous as, the bigger cons that are out there. Obviously it's great to have tons and tons of artists artists and writers and just, legends of the industry and stuff like that. But sometimes those smaller cons, if you're just looking for some good deals, or if you're just looking for like a, just more relaxing pace to go ahead and, dig through some boxes, it's a lot more relaxing and a lot more, it's a lot nicer of an atmosphere to kind of do and get down to like just pure collecting, checking through books, talking with store owners, stuff like that. So definitely check out the smaller cons in your area if you have the chance. But with that, I'm going to get going. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. I'm going to just sign off now. So this is Buckshot33, a.k.a. Boston Chris. Everybody have a great weekend. Hope everybody has a great week coming up. And, as always, happy collecting. Keep a lookout for us on the JLS live show on this coming Tuesday. We're going to be discussing the books coming out for this upcoming Wednesday, and just all types of other stuff. So come on down, check out the show, and have some fun. Again, just wanted to throw out the White Mountains comics and collectibles. Check them out. And with that, I am going to go. So thank you for watching. As always, please comment, like, subscribe, and have a great night. I'm out.